Hello everyone, and welcome to the Stellaris Guide to Economic Collapse. I'm your host, Colors Fade. In this guide, we'll be discussing the most common causes of economic crashes and how you can remedy them. While playing Stellaris, you may witness instances when your energy credits quickly transition from a positive number to a negative number. It can be jarring to see such a large shift in the economy, especially when you're not really certain why the shift occurred. Typically, these shifts will happen on the first of the month, as that is when Stellaris updates much of your Empire's resource information. But it begs the question, what causes these shifts? What can you do to avoid them, and how can you fix them when they happen? In this video guide, I'll cover the most common causes for these economic collapses, and we'll look at ways to either avoid them or fix them when they occur. Trade route disruption is one of the first and most obvious problems you should look for when trying to diagnose economic crashes. This happens when a critical starbase along a trade route becomes compromised, and that can happen when pirates show up or if an enemy conquers one of your systems along a trade route during a war. When this happens, trade along the route is disrupted and the collection profits do not make their way back to your homeworld. You can easily identify trade routes that are compromised by using the Trade Routes Map Mode key. This will bring up the Trade Route menu where you can scroll through your trade routes and look for any routes that are not at 100% efficiency. By analyzing the route, you can determine which specific systems are experiencing disruption. When you find the source of the problem, send some ships to deal with it. Once you have the affected systems under control, trade will flow freely again and you'll be back in the black. To prevent further disruption of your trade routes, you will need to set up proper trade route protection, either in the form of hangar bays on strategically positioned starbases, or by using a fleet to patrol the route. For more detailed information on trade routes and trade protection, see my trade tutorial linked in the description below. Automatically buying resources is another insidious way you will experience an economic crash. Open the Galactic Market and you'll find that you can set up automatic trades, allowing you to automatically buy or sell resources every month. This is a nice way to automate resource management when you have a large surplus, so you don't have to constantly sell excess resources. It's also a nice way to automate buying resources with extra money. However, where you can run into a problem is when you are automatically buying a resource every month and the price of that resource skyrockets due to demand. Remember, a market is about supply and demand, and if a resource you are automatically buying every month suddenly experiences a spike in demand, a corresponding price hike will ensue. At that point, you'll be buying the resource for a very expensive amount of credits, likely causing a negative monthly balance, which the game will report to you as a red negative number of energy credits. Fixing this problem is easy. Simply reduce the amount of the item you're automatically buying or cancel the automatic buy altogether. At the end of the month, you'll see your energy credits flip over to something resembling normal. A really common way to fall into this trap is to buy alloys automatically. You may find yourself with a strong economy and a lot of extra credits and decide to buy extra alloys each month with an automatic trade. That's fine, but when war breaks out across the galaxy, suddenly everyone is buying extra alloys, trying to build up more ships and defensive stations. The price of alloys goes up, and your automatic trade may suddenly create a deficit. Simply reduce the amount of alloys you're buying every month, or eliminate the automatic trade altogether. By keeping close tabs on your automated trades, you'll be able to keep yourself out of deficit spending. Another way to find yourself in an economic collapse is via Starbase Acquisition. It's one of the more insidious ways to experience an economic crash. And by Starbase Acquisition, I mean starbases you acquire during or after a war. It's insidious because it's not immediately apparent what is happening. As you conquer systems from certain empires like determined exterminators or driven assimilators, or you acquire systems at the end of Claims War, you will acquire new starbases. Since these starbases are now yours, you acquire their maintenance costs. But more importantly, they count against your starbase soft cap, which you can see at the top right of the resource bar. Exceeding the starbase soft cap is very punitive, and the economic penalties add up fast, quickly putting you in the red. So how do you handle this? Simple. Periodically scroll through your starbases using the outliner on the right and look at the starbases near the bottom. These will be the most recently acquired starbases. If they're not critical to your empire, downgrade them to outposts so that they no longer count against your starbase soft cap. If you do this regularly during a war and immediately after a claims war, you'll keep yourself out of economic trouble. The final culprit I want to discuss is undocked ships. All of your ships have a maintenance cost associated with them. This cost is minimal when the ships are docked and the status on the outliner is green. However, the minute you undock those ships and send them off into the cosmos to do battle, the maintenance fees increase significantly. If your fleet is large enough and your empire's economy is weak, this may cause you to experience a monthly deficit. One way to offset this cost is by setting up more automated trades to sell excess goods, if you have them. This will help keep you in the black. This is also why it's a good idea to have a really strong economy before you build huge fleets and go off to war. In conclusion, one or more of these things might all happen at the same time, causing your economy to crash. You might experience trade route disruption at the same time you acquire new starbases during a war, pushing you over the starbase soft cap. Your automated trades might experience a price spike due to increased resource demands. At the same time, you undock a bunch of ships and head off to war, increasing your maintenance fees. Any of these things can happen all at the same time. The key is knowing that these situations exist so you can systematically hunt down the causes and remedy them. Check your trade routes and make sure pirates aren't cutting off your profits. Make sure you're under the starbase soft cap. Ensure your automated trades aren't forcing you to spend more than you're earning. And check that you aren't leaving ships undocked when they could be saving you money by being docked at a space station. Alright everyone, that's it for another Stellaris tutorial video from me. I'm Colors Fade, and if you found this video useful, click the like button, consider subscribing to the channel. You can drop questions and comments down below. I'll do my best to respond. And as always, my Patreon is listed in the description below. Thanks for watching.